Plaintiff Laura Costin-Luz started dating the defendant after they met online, and she claims it was a whirlwind romance. However, Laura says the romance only lasted 3 weeks because the defendant was constantly asking her for money, and she's suing him today for unpaid loans. Defendant Kenneth Hicks says from the time he met Laura, she wanted to have sex with him, but he insists he never took their relationship to that level. Kenneth claims Laura once gave him a massage with bacon grease, and during the massage she took her top off and tried to seduce him, and he denies owing her for anything.
Start with you.
Okay, I met this gentleman on Match.com on March the 6th. It turned into kind of a fast and furious romance. Everything progressed very quickly. The first time I met him, he gave me this penny actually has a heart out of the center. And he said he wanted to give that to the person that would fill the hole in his heart. And he also I know, he's right. Then he also gave me the silver cross that said, God loves you, because he was talking about, his strong Christian faith. So.
You still seem impressed.
Well, no.
Oh, okay.
Not anymore.
I was wondering. But go ahead, I'll let you. Maybe
I was
wrong.
impressed when I first met him. He's good looking, he's very charming, and we just had so I thought.
You should look ugly by now. Seriously, man. Yeah, maybe he didn't beat you out your money. Go ahead.
So,
how was your relationship?
The relationship was very romantic. It got sexual very quickly. I met his mother, I think within the first week or 10 days. He talked to my mother on the phone. He was spending the nights with me. We were having dinner together. It was like he just basically moved.
How long did you all stay together?
Not long. This is a 3-week whirlwind.
How did it end? Why?
He started asking me for money too much.
How often?
The first time was he was in trouble. He lost some money, and it was the first week. And he
first week that you all were together.
The first week, he dropped his wallet. It had cash in it, and he freaked out that it had $200 cash. He canceled all his credit cards. He said he was using that money to pay his phone off, and if he didn't pay it that day, it was going to be turned off.
You wouldn't be able to talk to you.
And he seemed desperate, so I said, I will help you, but I will put it on a credit card, but you have to promise to pay me back. And he goes, thank you, you're saving me, my phone's not going to be turned off. So this is the statement from that. And then 2 weeks after that, he sent me some text and said that he was kind of in a little bit of a situation, that he was behind on some bills, and could I please help him out? And I said, we'll talk about it tonight when I get home from work. So that's when.
Let me hear from you, sir, before we get further into her details. Give me some background.
Well, my name is Kenneth Hicks, and Yana, this is about sex and bacon grease. That's what this is about.
And what? Bacon grease?
Bacon grease. Sex and bacon grease.
What does that mean?
I met Laura on March 6th, like she said. When I first met her, she pulled a chicken bone out of her purse it was a wishbone. She said, let's make a wish about our relationship. I should have thought something was weird at that point.
Did you give her that heart?
I did. I had it in my wallet, and I gave her the cross because I am strong in my faith.
No, but the heart.
Yeah, I showed it to her.
To fill a hole in your heart.
She said that she could probably feel it. So I'm thinking, okay, we'll see.
That's not true.
So, well,
go ahead.
She got it. So, she kept wanting to have sex with me. I wasn't ready. We had talked about this several times. I just got a relationship.
That's a lie, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Finish, man.
So I got out of a relationship with another female that I was engaged to, so I was still emotionally wasn't there. I just wanted somebody to hang out with. She was mature, and make a long story short.
You were dating, obviously.
I'm sorry?
You were dating?
No.
Why are you giving something about filling a hole in your heart?
Oh, that's what I told her. I mean, I was looking for somebody.
Lie.
I wasn't dating at that time.
Looking for somebody to date? No, you were dating her.
No, we weren't dating. I had never had sex with that woman.
I didn't ask you about sex.
I have
You sound like Bill Clinton. I have never had sex with that woman.
The bacon grease. I was stressed. I did tell her I was.
You keep saying that. What does that mean? You don't know how you sound. What does that mean? You're a bacon grease.
That means.
Don't refer to yourself as no bacon grease with this woman.
Judge.
What does it mean then?
I'm sorry. Let me explain to you. I was stressed.
You're embarrassing me now. What? What, sir? What does it mean? Let's get past that.
I'm
stuck on that.
I'm sorry. I get to it. She was going to give me a massage, and she used bacon grease to give me a massage.
Okay, all right. All right, thank you. Well, say
And
that.
I knew it was bacon grease
Thank
because it
you.
smelled like bacon grease. And at that time, she took off her top trying to seduce me with some freaky bacon grease. So I got up and I told her I wasn't ready for that. So she said if she wondered if I was gay because I wouldn't pay her no attention. And I told her I'm just emotionally not there. So.
But you did date. You gave the woman a heart saying, you can fill this hole in my heart. You hung out with her how often, how long?
A couple of weeks.
All right, what'd you
Several
all
weeks.
do? What were you
3
trying
weeks.
to evangelize? Did you invite her to church?
I was praying for her. I was trying to pull her in.
Yeah, I know you were praying. Never mind. Let me move on. I'm sorry, Lord. Go ahead.
At that time, she told me we can go downtown and watch. It was this Gen Con type thing. They dress up as characters. And she said we can go down to her friend's house who has a condo. I'm thinking it's a female friend's house we're going over to, and they weren't there. So I go into the house, and there was a guy's pictures everywhere. And I'm looking like, okay, this is a guy's house. So I asked Miss Lauren about it, and this is a guy she used
That's
to
a
date.
lie.
So I'm inside of a guy's house that she used to date that's in the military. And that's basically.
How about asking her for money within a week of meeting her?
I did. She offered. I told her my situation. I was going through a tough time. She offered to do it, and
You dry begged her.
No, I didn't dry beg her.
Why are you telling her your tough times then?
Because she
What-
wanted me to open up. Because I was kind of
And
holding
that's
a lot
what you
in.
focused on, opening up, is about your
I
money.
think, what about
I'm
this?
short
Isn't
on
this
my
opening
phone
up?
bill, and unless you keep my phone on, I won't be able to open up and talk and tell you my problems. Go ahead, sir. And so you borrowed how much that time? $200, as she says?
I think that was 170 if I.
All right, and that's what this says, 170.
It was 170.
And when did you agree to repay her that?
I didn't agree to pay her that back.
Your Honor, I have a promissory note where he does agree to pay it back.
Let's see that, please.
That and the other amount that I lent
I
him.
don't have no bacon grease on it.
I don't keep bacon grease in my house. He's crazy about the bacon grease. He's
Put
crazy
that
about a lot
bacon
of this.
grease down. All right. It's a new way of doing things. Sir, you've signed this.
The note when I signed it out of distress. I didn't even read it. I look over it. She was
What
complaining so much.
distress? Try to keep that hot grease off of you. What distress, sir?
I signed it. Before I signed it, she made a comment that she gave me the money and all that I would have to perform some sexual obligations.
Oh my God, that is.
I didn't feel comfortable with it, so I felt like she manipulated me.
I don't
to try
feel
to get
comfortable
me-
with this line of conversation because you are a liar. Let me say a couple things. He lied about what his job was. He lied about how much money he made. He lied about his living situation, and you have done nothing but lie here today.
That's not true.
That's enough.
That's not true. I would never.
It is true.
Why would I disclose my finances?
Why do I have clothes at your house? Why did you leave clothes
I
at
would-
your house if we're just friends?
Because I would stay there because my condo was getting ready.
Where would you
Oh,
sleep?
that is bull. That is bull. You told me you already had an
I
apartment.
would go back and forth. I had an apartment. I was moving
When
out.
you
to-
were over her
See?
house, where would you sleep at her house?
I would sleep in the bedroom.
And I had a guest bed, so if we were just
Yeah,
friends,
she had a guest bed. I
how
had
come
my-
we
Why
didn't
did you have to
sleep there?
sleep in her bedroom then?
Because we were a couple.
We wasn't a couple.
We were a couple for a couple of weeks. That's what we
We
were.
wasn't a couple.
Not gonna let you make any more of a fool out of me or yourself. And you're making a bigger fool out of yourself. I'll grant you your judgment, ma'am. I have this in writing, but this amount that you are listing for interest is illegal.
The reason why I put the treble damages is I believe he never intended to
But it's
pay me back.
illegal, ma'am.
Oh,
It's an
okay.
illegal contract. That sounds like something the mafia would put down. In fact, it's more than the mafia would put down. The amount of 170, got that. And one second agreement at $430.
It was
So-
actually $440 if you look at the bank statement.
No, I have to go by what's on here, ma'am.
I have it- I have the
go
bank-
by this. I go by this. This is what you all signed.
Well, you'd spent a lot of time with Mr. Hicks over there, Your Honor.
I'm not
and
spending any time with him.
I didn't get a chance
You
to
spent
give,
time with
to
him.
give you this.
And he got your money. What are you saying?
I didn't get a chance to give you my bank statement, which shows that it was for $470.
All right, and let me tell you, as a lawyer and a judge, whatever you signed on the contract is binding,
Okay.
not something you got from your bank. Now, finish telling your story.
Literally the day after that was signed, he asked for more money again to move into the condo. And then after that I was done, he took his belongings out, he returned his key, and there was no just distress there. 3 days after that, he sent me a text saying, wow, it doesn't matter. You're going to get all your money back. And I have that.
All right. Well, you've already proved your case with the contract.
Okay.
And I'll grant you the $170 and then the $430 that you list as loans. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
There you go. That's what you left behind, friend.
She got that from the Goodwill or somewhere.
Well, it looks like it's from the Goodwill, but that's all your
She's
stuff.
a good person. I'm grateful for what she's done for me. She's a good person. So I want to leave it at that.
Plaintiff Marilyn Portia Terrell says she and the defendant were good friends, and the defendant was with her when she danced on Soul Train in the 90s. Marilyn claims she and the defendant were so close that they even had a threesome with the defendant's boyfriend. But Marilyn's suing her today for a loan and emotional distress. Defendant Fontessa Reed says that Marilyn is a stripper and a drug-addicted prostitute who had her 2 children taken away from her. Fontessa claims Marilyn even bashed a woman over the head with rocks, and Fontessa is countersuing her for harassment.
All right, start with you.
Your Honor, I've known Mrs. Reed since I was 15 years old. We were acquaintances where I danced on Soul Train for multiple years, and she came along with me.
What years did you dance on Soul Train?
Early 90s throughout. And she was a good friend along the way, but as I come to realize, she was nothing but a manipulator and a taker. She was a good friend of promoting me, but at the same time stabbing me in the back.
How was she stabbing you in the back then?
Stabbing me in the back would be like, basically talking about what I don't have and what I'm not
Give me an
about.
example.
I'm not educated maybe as her, so she would kind of basically, tell people that I'm just a dancer, I'm just this, that, and the other.
Who told you this? Is this gossip?
No, it's not gossip, it's actually facts. I've known the woman for 20-some years.
But who told you that?
Her
Who
family.
was telling you these
her
things?
family.
Her family jealous of both of y'all. I know that you're at odds today, but 15-year friendship, you can't conclude that she's never been loyal to you.
Well, yeah, I can. I can very well say that. When it came to my children, my daughter to be exact, it kind of involved that. Where,
there you go. Now
she
totally
totally had no disregard when I would call her and tell her I needed $20 to feed my daughter, and I gave her $2,500, and she would have no regard to give me my money back. And I didn't like it. It was just horrible. Like, how you gonna do somebody like that would give you their last? If I had 4 quarters, I would give her 3, and she would do me like this. It was total. I wanted to bash her head in.
Exactly.
Let me hear from you. Give me some background.
Well, to tell you Portia's character, and of course you can see some of her character. Portia, yeah, she used to dance on Soul Train, and she ride that little train as long as she could to anybody that'll listen. But Portia really needs to get herself together, not only for the 2 kids that was taken from her, but the last one that she had.
Your Honor, can I say something? My kids were never taken from me at all.
Okay, so
I was pursuing my dreams, and my kids stayed with their grandparents. It take a village to raise these kids in America out here, and I had a village to help me with my 2. Now speak.
So once again, her
This
kids,
is a snake right here. She's a snake, she's a user, she's a taker, and I'm here to reveal on your today. Excuse me, Your Honor.
We need 2 bailiffs in this one.
Doyle say he need another bailiff. You need some help? You got Doyle nervous,
Don't bring
man.
my kids up in it. You a low down, but God know you quarterback. Look at you. Look at you. You ugly, and God don't like ugly. He said it.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but ma'am, I don't think he meant that like
I don't know
that.
what he meant, but that's what I grew up on. That's what I grew up on.
I'm gonna write that one down. You are ugly, and God don't like ugly. And he said it in the Bible.
Ugly, he said it. That's it, that's all.
Oh, I can't wait to get into an argument. I'm gonna go start an argument just to be able to say that. I'm trying to lighten her up for
But
you a
Your
little
Honor,
bit, man.
you know, I
know
really,
her
you know, at the
character.
end of the day, regardless of what I say or she say about me, I was a loyal friend.
All right,
Me
let me
being
allow
out
her.
there for my kids and having them be with their grandparent didn't stop me from giving you $2,500.
I don't even think they
Why would you take it? If you should have
All right.
said that's for your kids.
Man, we gonna
Don't give me no money. You take care of your
Man, we
kids.
gonna-
That's what you should have been preaching at me, you
Man.
50-year-old something.
Ma'am, all right. I know you're upset, very upset, highly upset. That is a lot of money, and I don't know what it meant to you, but you'll tell me, and because it may have thrown you into a tough
it did.
situation. So if you may have a reason to be that hostile, but let me at least allow her to say something. Go ahead, man. What else you want me to know?
Just as you can see her character, you know what, since she wanted to talk about me.
Gorgeous, honey.
Portia's nothing but a lady of the night, stripper, prostitute, unfit
And I you too, right? We together. We had sex together with you and your man.
Did
Whatever
y'all?
you wanna
We
say.
had sex. Oh, my mother, we had sex together. She was always trying to get me in the bedroom because this look alone couldn't keep her. She needed me as that buffer. She needed me as that buffer everywhere we went.
She can say whatever she wants.
You know,
No, it ain't true.
them boots you got on can't keep no.
Ma'am, that's enough.
You see her character?
You are.
Portia's very irate when things don't go her way.
I'm sorry, you.
Woo,
I'm
you
sorry.
vicious. Vicious.
She's very vicious because when things don't go her
Nothing
way,
can whip your-
Portia's the type of person, because she has turned into a drunk, drug abuser, and like I said, she's a lady of the night. And when things don't go her way, Portia's the type, like she just went to jail for bashing one of our friends over here with rocks. She just recently, because she thought a girl was looking at her man, said she was gonna snatch her eyes out, and instead they beat her over the head with a pipe. Portia wish she can have my lifestyle. Yeah, I may be 50 and I may look as gorgeous as you, but I'm a very classy lady.
Because
She wish
you
she
have
could
to
make
be,
the
because
kind of
your
money
back
I
is
make.
like 49ers.
It doesn't matter. I don't even care,
Quarterback.
but guess
Look
what?
at your body style. You trying to cover that. You wrong.
Ma'am.
Look at your character.
Ma'am,
I've
that's
been nothing
enough,
but a
ma'am.
friend to her to try to teach her
I
to do the right thing
appreciate your
because it's the
behavior.
right thing to do. I've always been there for her kids. When she want to go out and be a lady of the night, I'm always there to raise her
You
kids.
raised my
Ma'am.
kids.
She
I'm sorry.
wish her kids can be like my two boys.
All right,
Went to
that's
college
enough
and got
about the
degrees.
kids,
But
ma'am. That's enough about the
that,
kids.
Just to show her character, she wish she can be like me, and
All
here
right.
we are today.
I see it now.
Wait,
Ma'am,
I'm sorry.
maintain yourself. You're
I'm
gonna
sorry,
have to
I'm
maintain
nervous,
yourself.
and I'm sorry
Girl,
I
you
am.
ain't that. You ain't nervous
She's
at
very
all.
nervous.
How about you nervous?
And she's very violent. And when she said she wanted to bash my head,
Next you
that's
gonna say
exactly
you was
what she
shy.
wanted to do. And called and told me
You know,
that.
I'm shy and I'm nervous. Until I go off. All right, ma'am. Well, you're not being sued for violence, ma'am. Maybe so. She's countersuing for harassment. We'll get to that. But let's get to the loan you're suing her for. How does she owe you $2,500?
Well, Your Honor, in March 3rd, 2012, I sent her, she called me, her high-class self, had a high-rise, beautiful, don't get me wrong. I admired this woman as much as she went. I admired her the way she did her thing, she worked. You know, she didn't have it the easy way to be the lady of the night. I was privileged like that where I didn't have to work. She have to get up and go to work. If she don't, it's no eating, it's no nothing. So
That's
she
most
lost.
people.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. But she told me she was about to lose her beautiful high-rise. Her high-rise that's below Michael Jackson's high-rise, correct?
Where?
Sky Las Vegas, in Las Vegas,
And
Nevada.
it wasn't Michael Jackson.
And it's a
it's his
beautiful
dad.
home, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I mentioned that because that's what you always say.
Go ahead.
I didn't need to borrow it, but I'll state my case after
You did not
you
borrow?
finish with
Okay.
her.
Now, tell me about this $2,500.
Well, she called me basically saying she down on her luck, she's about to lose her high rise. And like I said, up until that point, everything was, it's cool. And I felt like, okay, she's telling me this.
So what was the agreement?
The agreement was that she would pay me the next month, and she didn't. And I have proof, Your Honor,
All right.
through email.
Let me hear from you, ma'am.
In February 2012, yeah, I was coming a little down because of the timeshare company I work for.
The what?
I sell vacation ownership. So the company I work for, he lost the most beautiful tower in Las Vegas. Yeah, my money was finna go from 8 to 10, maybe 18,000 a month. It was going down a little bit. So I was gonna rent out one of my rooms in high rise because I have a high rise that has 2 master suites. I was gonna rent it to a coworker. But instead, I was talking to Portia. Portia needed a place. She was homeless. I have proof.
That she was
homeless. She needed a place. I agreed to rent a room with her. I told her my rent is $2,000 a month. I said, if you serious about moving in, because I already had a coworker because she worked with me, she needed a place. I already had somebody to move in. I agreed with her. You can move in with me, but to show me that you're gonna move in with me, I want $1,000 for first month rent and $1,000 for your last month
Your
rent.
Honor.
Quiet, ma'am. Let her speak. Go
For
ahead.
the last month's rent. Portia then she deposited $1,000 on March 5th, and then she wired another $1,000 to me around the 8th. And then she's supposed to be doing the following day, coming down. She decided she wanted to move her ex in with me, and I was like, no. That's not the agreement. She then got outraged, like you see she can do.
All the time.
All the time.
Ready.
Go
All
ahead.
the time. Ready. So then she got outraged, started bullying me, and talking about she demanded her $2,000 back. I told her, since she's bullying me, because I know how she get, and she mean every word that she say. She will bash me over here, because if you do it to your friend, you do it to your daughter, you did it to the girl that lived with you, you would do it to me. I had to watch my back every day. So I told her, yeah, I'll give you your $2,000 back now that I assumed as a loan. You can read the email, because she didn't like the way I worded it. So
Let's see the email you're
yeah.
talking about.
So here we are today. She decided that she wasn't gonna move with me, and I told her, hey, you breached your contract. I'm not paying you back nothing. Yes.
Oh, Lord.
And that's where we are today.
That was now accepted as a loan. All right, ma'am. She does suggest that it wasn't a loan
and
at
first.
I have what she did with
letters
that
from
now.
both my boys. The one that lives in Hollywood that looks at her as an aunt would go meet her, go to her house, and he'd tell you how she's riding around in her U-Haul, living in a hostel because he had to go meet her. And I have those here.
Living in a what?
Living in a U-Haul.
Please.
You snake. You such a snake.
No,
God
snake,
gonna get you. God gonna
Now,
get you.
ma'am,
Got you.
this is
just telling the
2,000.
truth.
What is the
all I'm
500
here
for
to do.
emotional distress?
Yes.
How has she caused you emotional
Well, when
distress?
I arrived,
I work every day,
Who
Your Honor. I don't have
causes
time
you
to call
emotional
nobody.
distress? Yes, ma'am. How?
well, how she did it was,
Yes.
I arrived to Vegas. I never was gonna move with her. She needed this money for her rent. If you go back in the dates, which she's not gonna be able to provide for you, she was in the rear, like $3,000 for her
How is that
high-rise condo.
harassment, ma'am?
Well, excuse me for that. The harassment was, I'm not paying you nothing. Just telling me she's not gonna pay me.
Okay.
I told her, can I get $20 off the loan to feed my daughter? She didn't want to give me no $20.
All
And
right, I got you. Your counterclaim for 1,000, ma'am, is for what?
For her harassing me. Portia, she couldn't get up where I live because it was very highly secure, but she would come to my job. She ran up on me one day with a little pocket knife. She was going to try to poke me. But I know how to kind of diffuse her a little bit and some words to say to her because I've been knowing her for quite some time. So I got her to ease down in the trust that I was going to pay her because Portia would have stabbed me in my back. She comes around my son's house. He stated it, and he ran up on her, and then they drove off really fast. She was calling me, harassing me, talking about she going to bash me over here. And every word that Portia said, you heard her say earlier, she meant that.
Your Honor, can I say something, Your Honor, please?
I would have to go to work
Please,
every
Your
day
Honor.
and watch my back.
Your
I would
Honor.
have to hide my Hummer.
Your Honor,
and
I went, like she said, she witnessed, she was involved, noticed that years ago in 1996, I beat a girl up. Why would this woman allow me to come to her with a knife, harass her, and I almost faced 7 years in 1996, and she didn't call the police on me?
The email says that she agreed to pay you. It appears that she did convert it to a loan when, in fact, I'm inclined to believe her. It was originally a deposit because it says,
never no deposit,
I will
sir.
now accept it as a loan and pay you back.
Your Honor, it wasn't a deposit. It wasn't a deposit
All
for
right.
nothing. I make $40,000 a year.
Ma'am, I'm
not
granting
having
you
to
your
work.
$2,000. One more word and your claim will be dismissed. How about that?
Yes.
I'm not her. Don't go off in here.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to grant your harassment claim.
Thank you, Your
You have
Honor.
earned that $1,000 here today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let alone, I don't know what y'all went through out in the street, but you get it just for the day.
Thank you.
1,000 for you, 2,000 for you. Have a good day.
Thank
You're left
you,
with
Your Honor.
1,000.
Thank you. You all sorry. You gonna mention my kids? I'm not doing nothing to her. I was calling. I was gonna be nice. I wasn't gonna do nothing. I promise you, Fontessa.
She was.
I wasn't gonna hit you. I was gonna say, you know, that I love you. That's what I was gonna come and say to you.
And you know I love you too.
I just sent you a Valentine's. We went just the last Super Bowl. I treated her and her man to shrimp and wined and dined you. Every time you in my presence, I'm spending money on you. Why you don't want that? Why you want to deny me of that? I paid my way through you all the time. And if I wanted to get her, boss, she'd get got.
Plaintiff Priscilla Ovale says she and the defendant were good friends until she realized the defendant was a habitual liar. Priscilla claims the defendant said he was an interior decorator for several celebrities, so she hired him to decorate her apartment. But she's suing because he did a horrible job. Defendant Julian Miller says Priscilla is one of the top strippers in Atlanta, and she not only makes $10,000 a night, but she also has sugar daddies who support her. Julian's countersuing for unpaid wages.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Your Honor, I met Julian in about 2016. Instantly, we hit it off. We were good friends. I guess fulfilled his fantasy of a pretty best friend or whatever.
Did you date or you were just intimate
No,
once?
we're friends. We were
You
just
say
friends.
you fulfilled his fantasies?
No, his best
Of
friend
being with a
fantasy.
woman, huh?
His best, like having a pretty girl as a best friend. I guess that's his.
Oh, as a best friend.
That's his.
All
That's what he
right.
said. Anyways, instantly I noticed that he was a habitual liar and obnoxious. And so, anyways, down the line, I got a new apartment. I posted on Instagram that I needed an interior decorator. Instantly, he came in and was like, you gotta pick me. I'm the one to do it. I do celebrities' houses. I do everybody's houses. I'm the one for it. You gotta let me do it. So I said, okay, we agreed that I would let him do it. And when it came down to it, I have a contract here.
Okay, before we get to that, let me allow him to give some background on the case.
Okay,
Sir?
well, we met, like she said, from a mutual friend from California, and I'm not a habitual liar, but she's actually one of the #1 strippers in Atlanta. She makes like $10,000 a night, as she say, and she also has sugar daddies, like with an S.
$10,000 a night, that's what I said.
Sugar daddies
What club
and a
does she
boyfriend
make
at the same
$10,000
time.
a night at?
Well, she do private parties,
Okay.
So when you do private parties for like rappers and stuff like that, they throw ones, and normally they have like 1 to 2 girls.
Oh, yeah,
so
no, they
because
throw
she's a
it.
good stripper, she makes her money.
They throw that up at the club. The
Exactly,
rappers
they
and the
will.
athletes and
Absolutely.
the dope dealers, they get $20,000, 80, 100,
Right.
some of them.
a
In
fact.
ones and big stacks and cart them on. They cart it up to their tables and they throw
Right.
20,000, 30,000, 40,000 over the course of the night.
Well, that's what she told me, Your
Well,
Honor.
but I know that's what they do. I didn't know.
Yeah.
You're saying she's one of the beneficiaries of
Yes. Yes.
All right.
So she did post the ad on Instagram. So when we did meet, and it's not because she was pretty. I went ahead and was like, "Oh, you're my friend," because I look good too, and I can have any friend that I want to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
That's right.
don't flatter yourself, baby girl.
That was your words, not mine.
Secondly, what I was saying is that so when I didn't beg her to do her apartment or anything like that, and I didn't say that I do celebrity or anything like that, I'm Mama D's personal assistant, so I had people coming at me left to right anyways. So she just wanted to be a mic clout
So did you
because
say
I
it or
had.
did you not?
I'm talking. Don't interrupt.
I'm confused.
You
Did
know who
say it or
Mama
not?
D is?
I do not.
I watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and she's an interesting character on there. You're her assistant.
Well, you
I'm
mentioned to me that
I'm
he
her
did do
assistant.
her
I've also
interior
done
design.
her interior. I've also done, I'm a fashion designer, so I know how things are supposed to look, and I've worked for many groups
Does he
out
do
here.
all this for Mama D? I've never seen him on there.
I'm not sure. I never heard of it. I never seen him on Love and Hip Hop.
All right, ma'am. Tell me the specifics about the interior decorating you're suing him over.
Okay, so there's a bunch of things that I hated terribly, but I pointed out 4 main things. The first thing is the painting. I put
Let
a
me
list
see the
here.
contract. I'm sorry.
Yes, I have a copy of the contract right here.
She didn't even know anything about a contract. My company drafted that up.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Anyways, he said that he was gonna do my kitchen, my loft, and my downstairs living room. He was supposed to paint for me, which he did a horrible job of. He left paint everywhere, all over my windowsills, my hardwood floor, my stairs, my carpet, left the paint everywhere, again, which I bring pictures of.
Let me see it. And you had someone else clean it up?
So then, no, he sent his own painter, which I additionally paid for, right?
Well, she only had a $3,700
Let her finish.
budget.
Go ahead.
His painter was super unprofessional. He did mention to me, like, you know, we shouldn't use this guy.
Did that painter do a satisfactory job?
He did, but he didn't finish. The things that he did do for me.
So that's
yes.
not, you shouldn't be satisfied if they don't finish.
No, I wasn't satisfied at the end, but his painting wasn't horrible.
It still hasn't been finished?
No, still hasn't been finished. So after that, I had my own painters, again after that, which I had to send additional $1,400.
Do you have a receipt for the work they did, your own painters?
I do not.
All right, so get to the next issue. What else did he do wrong?
So then he was supposed to provide me some bar stools and a couch. He sent me a picture of a custom design couch that he made me that it looks like it's stapled, bedazzled on the outside, and the cushion is fur. I'm not really sure, but which I have a picture of, which I denied. I said I do not want that couch. I didn't ask for a custom couch. I'd like a regular couch. I do not want that couch.
You're a $3,700 budget. I have to give you the best.
Well, you have a $0 budget, so
you
obviously
said she make $10,000 a night. Why did you go for that?
Well, the thing is that because, like I said, she was my friend. So because she was my friend, I wasn't even going to charge her any labor. So I bought that couch for $300, and I went ahead and I bought material and I sold everything. Before we even went, I said I would do everything custom to save her money, and she agreed.
But I didn't need you to save me no money.
I just needed money.
I don't.
You needed to save money.
How did I need money? Did you forget that you came to my house?
$10,000 a night.
She told me she supposedly made $10,000 a night.
I've never said I made $10,000 a night, but yes, I do make thousands of dollars if we want to go there. I've never said I made $10,000.
You should have upped your budget then, sweetie.
I didn't need to up my budget because then you would have stole more money from me, sweetie.
I own my house and you rent a condo, right?
No, you don't own anything. You're getting evicted.
Yes, I do own my house. That you've never actually been there. So
irrelevant.
Come on, Priscilla.
You don't have a home. You live in the hood. That's why you got robbed for your
I don't live in the hood, and I got robbed.
You got shot.
I got robbed, and let me tell you, like I said,
I'm telling me that's your business.
I know.
Yeah, you got robbed, and they stole 7 figures out your phone.
Mess.
I was shot in November because someone was trying to rob me just because of who I was.
You live in the hood. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows who you are.
Yeah, we're in Chicago. I'm talking about
Nobody
Atlanta.
knows who you are in Atlanta.
People know who you are because you're bending over backwards. That's how they know
and I'm bending over backwards.
They know your they don't know your face.
And everybody knows that. No, baby. Everybody knows who I am.
Get your teeth fixed.
Why? They're perfect.
Use your money and get your teeth fixed.
That's enough. That's enough. But that is funny, though. He said people don't know your face because they never see it. That is a little funny. I'm sorry.
Well, when they don't see my face, I'm getting a check, so it's fine.
There you go. You all have caused me to forget the key points I need to ask about. You were dissatisfied with the painting. Then he sent his guy over, and that person did not finish.
Correct.
How much were you to pay him, and did you pay him?
Yeah, I paid the additional painter by myself.
How much?
$800. That was the
and
total.
did you give him anything toward?
Him?
Paint? Yes.
No.
Okay, so you've only paid $800.
He paid the defendant $500. It is. I have it in the. It's not.
Right, and then I had to give him an additional $300 because the defendant came. He said the painter originally said he didn't come back. This is the reason why he didn't come back.
He didn't come back because he wanted to sleep with her. That's why he didn't come back.
And
you were trying to sleep with the painter when he's supposed to be doing work. Say that's
How
a
did
lie.
I try to? Are you joking, Julian? You told me
do you
that
see a smile on my face?
You're a habitual liar. You try to get me to.
Talk to me.
Come on.
Now, this couch does look very flashy, and I'm not sure whether that's what she expected. I might be surprised.
Absolutely not.
I don't know. It looks all right.
I hate it.
But I would be surprised because it's flashy.
I FaceTimed her before I even completed the project, and I said, how do you like it? She was laying in bed with her daughter, and she was like, oh my gosh, I love it. And then 2 days later, she was like, oh, I love it, but it's not my style. So I said, okay, well, let's sell it then. I sold it for $300, and I went ahead and I bought a different couch.
For her?
Yes, for her. I told her that I was going to go ahead.
I don't have a couch.
I told her I was going to go. The reason why she don't have a couch is because she don't want my delivery guys to deliver it. She wants the company that's already delivered it to my house to deliver it to her house.
First of all, you told me that they never delivered it to you.
The warehouse.
You said they never delivered it to you.
Ma'am, did you agree to receive it?
What, that couch? No.
No, the couch he's making reference to.
No, because I never knew about another couch.
Okay, because he says you told him you wanted the same person that brought it to him to deliver it to you.
I told him that I want the company. I said I don't want anything else to do with you anymore. I want the company to deliver.
To deliver a couch.
Yes, I never seen what couch it was. Yes, that he
You say you never knew of it just a
No, I
second
never
ago.
seen it.
No, I'm telling you what you just told me.
So who's the habitual liar now?
Hold on, sir. You did just tell me that you didn't know anything about a couch. Go
I
ahead. Now when he
apologize.
gets ready to show me this text,
Yes.
you'll know about it.
No, I was saying that I didn't know that what couch it was, is what I'm saying. He's
All I
talking
see
about-
is I don't want any of your crew near my home. You didn't say don't bring me the couch because I don't want it. And stay in your place and be professional. You are well aware of the couch here, ma'am. What about the bar stools?
The bar stool, sir. She said she wanted burnt orange bar stools. We never, even you can see in the contract, we never discussed any bar stools. She said
where's
she
the
was
Did she
furniture?
get any? Did she pay for them?
No, she never paid me for any bar stools.
I did, and as he was continuing to say, we were talking about getting me orange burnt bar stools. I did.
No, she did not pay me for them.
Didn't
then
you
what
just
did I
say
pay you
you
for?
did?
The only thing was supposed to be paying for the
How
kitchen.
much did she pay you, sir?
For the kitchen was on
Period.
$37.50.
Total.
$37.50.
$37.50. Now, tell me what it was for.
The $37.50 was supposed to be for her kitchen, and that was only supposed to be for plates and, under cabinet lights.
This all-white model kitchen will be in the colors of orange.
Correct.
Chrome and custard kitchenware. Kitchen will be painted. You
Which
just
she
said
does
it.
have. She has a black chalk wall where you can write
You painted the
Yes, I
kitchen?
painted it.
Did he?
Yes, he did. That's including the bar stools, because I just have like an island in my kitchen, so that was a part of the bar stools, and he gave me like.
I don't see anything in the contract regarding bar stools.
It was not.
All I see is paint.
Okay, well then I guess we could be irrelevant to the paint. Can I show you how he left, what my living room looks like?
I have a video of what the living room left. That's from the other painter that went ahead and painted that. I
No,
have a
that's
video
just
to
showing
show
that there's no
that I
furniture.
did
Let's
a
see the
great
video
job.
that he has.
There's no furniture in my home, is what I'm saying. Where did the money go? Yes, this is the beginning paint that I had to have him go over because I hated
No,
the paint.
I did that. That's
I
not
know.
the painter.
I know.
I did
said
all of that.
This is the old paint that I had covered, is what I said.
And you have designs and everything like that. Sweetheart, that is not cheap for your $3,700 budget. If
Well,
you
it's
want-
also not
Did she ever
$3,700.
approve any of your work?
Yes, she did. And she
Which
even
work?
showed it to
Which
one of her
work?
boyfriends. All of the paint, all right here.
Ma'am, did you approve of the paint?
I did not. That's why I had another
He says
painter.
he's going to show me something. What do
Yes.
you have? I have pictures.
Okay,
Show me some
well.
evidence that she approved of any of your work.
No, I don't, because we only did that on FaceTime, so I don't have any of that. All we did was mainly FaceTime, and the reason why the guy didn't come
No
back
bar stools are in there.
Right.
And the couch,
is at my
she
house.
never approved, and you still have. Your
She has
counterclaim for
everything,
wages are for what, sir?
It's for basically for my my labor and also for the kids' room.
I have a text message
and
saying
I
it
have
doesn't
every.
labor.
Let's
She
see it,
has
please.
everything at her house, sir. She has a fireplace that I bought for her. She has a lamp that
I
controls
told you
by
I
her
didn't need
phone.
no labor fee.
She has everything at her house.
But you told her you didn't need any labor. Now you want it.
I didn't need any labor fee for designing, sir.
Well, you said you on the contract as well. It says labor fee waived.
Absolutely.
It does?
Yes.
Then why are you saying you need it?
Because
Judgment for the plaintiff. Your claim is dismissed. Because you lied. Have a good day.
I'm really happy how this went. I hope that no one ever gets scammed like this by their friends and don't mix any business with pleasure ever again.
I didn't scam her or anything like that, and the reason why it went in her favor is because I said the labor is waived. That's the only thing. But
Or because you lied about everything.
I didn't.
Plaintiff Paul Robinson is better known as Puma from VH1's hit reality show Black Ink. Puma claims the defendant approached him about appearing at a 420 event, but the event was not a success, so he lowered his fee. And she not only failed to pay him, but she also failed to provide him with transportation home. So Puma's suing. Defendant Simone Trent met Puma on Instagram and thought he would be perfect for her 420 event. Simone claims she agreed to pay Puma for the appearance out of the proceeds from the event. But since it was a flop, she didn't make any money. She's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
How you doing today, Judge?
Good.
Pleasure. I'm a big fan and all that.
Thank you.
My name is Paul
I'm a
Robinson.
fan of yours every now and then.
Okay, so I guess I don't have to say too much of who I am, but my name is Paul Robinson. A lot of people know me as Puma from VH1's Black Ink.
How many seasons you guys been on? 2?
3 actually now. Yes, sir. And it's basically about a black-owned tattoo business in Harlem, and I'm one of the characters that's on the show. I'm kind of a really cool, relaxed individual. Sometimes TV doesn't display that, but I'm a very cool, relaxed individual.
You're a weed head. You seem like a weed head on the thing. Are you a weed head?
I be honest, I kind of am. I'm not gonna lie about that. I am.
Okay, well, that's how you come
I
across.
can admit that I
That's
am,
your
you know,
thing.
but
That's your thing. I don't judge
it's,
that.
It's legal in a lot of states
No,
right now.
I don't come down on folks
Yeah.
smoking weed. It's about the same as alcohol, in my opinion.
Thank you. Exactly how I feel.
Go ahead.
Right. I met this young lady, Simone, who I actually have not an issue in the world with. Really don't blame her at all. I just feel like the situation itself. But basically,
Where
I
do
do
you
a
all
lot
know
of
each other from?
Well, I know a lot. I do a lot of bookings in different states.
Appearance bookings?
Appearance bookings, and I
Where you
actually
go
met
to
her.
the party and you meet the people.
Meet the fans.
And you get paid
And
for
interact
meeting
with them. Now, I'm not one of those people that stay in the VIP and don't interact. I actually walk around the club and I interact with everybody, and that's how me and Simone met.
See, I need to be like y'all because I have to give a whole speech.
Yeah.
When I go, I gotta study, I have to think, I have to come up with something informative. Then I have to actually deliver the speech.
But see, that happens to me though sometimes because that person
speeches
comes.
on what? What you giving a speech on?
Speeches
How
on
to roll.
what's going on
how
in
to
the
roll
show.
weed.
Yeah, no, not just that.
Speech on.
Nah, but I talk with the fans though. I interact with them, and
Okay.
that's how me and Simone met. She came up to me and she wanted to do an event at coming up for the 420 holiday in District of Columbia. Now, not for
420, what holiday?
That's the basic weed head holiday. 420.
It's the weed holiday.
But not for nothing, District of Columbia, it was actually legal this past year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm one of the people I like to go to the state to see how people react for when it becomes legal, recreational-wise, in their state. So I didn't mind doing the booking just for the reason to see how people are going to
How
react.
much was the agreement?
Well, the original agreement was $800.
800.
Yeah. Now.
What did she give you the rest in weed?
No. That wasn't what I was
charge a lot
asking.
more.
No.
Celebrities charge a lot more for guest appearances, particularly
not
after 3 seasons.
No, exactly. I actually do charge a lot more.
Yeah.
It was really like a win-win for me.
Even Jocelyn and Stevie J get 10,000.
Oh no, I know.
They get
I know, but
10,000 from Love and Hip Hop.
see,
You ever seen that?
But that's the point, that it really wasn't about the money to me. So the money wasn't the big reason. It really had nothing.
All right,
to
let
do.
me get to her, ma'am.
I actually met him on Instagram. And when I met him, I actually just told him I was doing a 420 event and I thought that he would be a perfect person just because, basically I knew what he was known for. And he agreed to it. The original was $500 actually. We didn't go about the $800 until the second contract.
When did you all agree to 500 approximately, if you know?
The first, not the first.
What month or?
Maybe March.
March, there was agreement for 500.
Yes.
And and that was verbal?
No, it was in the contract. He sent me an email. I have the email.
And when did you all change it to, you say you have a contract in March for $500?
Yeah, but no contracts that I ever wrote were ever signed.
Was there ever a verbal agreement for 800?
Yes.
Okay, when was that?
That was after I told him that.
Do you know what month and year?
Yeah, it was April of 2015.
All right, approximate date?
Maybe the 17th, 16th.
All right. Is that correct? Was that the contract? April 17th, you all agreed verbally on $800?
This is the part where I'm trying to be really nice, though. The party went really kind of left, and I actually lowered the price for her. I told her, just give me $500 because it was just such a bad situation, and I didn't want her to lose, and I actually knew that she just had her son's her son's birthday party.
You are a good guy. When did you tell her just to give you $500?
Actually, that day after the event went left, and
So that's approximately April 18th or so?
April 18th, and I also said it in email, which I have right here, and I also said it in...
All right, April 18th, it became $500.
Yes. Now, I gave her within a time span of she actually gave herself the time span by May 1st
All
or
right,
8th.
she hasn't paid you.
No.
So what happened? At the event?
Well, reason why we're really here is because of how bad it went after the fact. I usually have people, I take care of my own transportation, or I have people send me plane tickets or whatever, but she actually picked me up. And she drove all the way from DC to New York, and she was with a gentleman and her child, and the gentleman was a little left. He can tell that he was just mentally a little bit off. and he was asking me a lot of questions, and I'm
You
one of the...
smoking weed in the car. Yeah, that's what happened. The man came
But here's
here,
the
he mentally
crazy
hard.
part. That's the funniest part about it. The weed actually
Man
stopped
back there
him.
laughing and stuff. You like, what is he laughing at? He laughing. This is his first time smoking weed, and that's what it does. First time you smoke weed, you go to laughing uncontrollably.
This can
Go
be true
ahead.
for some people.
Go
This is true.
ahead.
But
All right.
the guy was a little off, and like he just kept. I felt like he was just trying too hard.
All right. Nonetheless, you all get to the venue.
We get to
or
the
you
venue.
Get to the city.
I get to the city. They drop me off at the room. The next day after the party went left, the guy didn't pick me up. He didn't show up. I basically got left.
After the event ended?
After the event ended, I guess because he didn't get his money, he left me in Maryland.
Ma'am, what do you say?
I did agree to pay him, but he was supposed to get paid out of my proceeds, which is what we talked about during the verbal contract, because I told him my investor dropped out, so we didn't have anyone to pay him.
So you were to pay him $500 or $800 out of the proceeds.
Right, we were supposed to get paid $800, up to $800
Right.
because.
And so
of
if you didn't get any proceeds, that means he rode from New York to D.C. in a car with a man who was touched. All of that gave his time. He gets nothing. That's the deal he agreed to.
I mean, I don't.
You think I believe he agreed to that?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, I have text messages saying that he agreed to the proceeds. He actually, like, I told him up front, like,
and that's the only way he would get paid. Let's see
Right.
that. Now, I want to see that text message. And he said he
Yes,
agreed.
yellow.
And he agrees in this.
Yes.
Okay. I want to see that. This is the plaintiff. Also, the money side, how are we going to handle that, he says. After the club's over, we divide the money and I pay you from my share. And he doesn't respond to that other than saying, I do. And I don't know what that means. After the club is over, we divide. What do you mean, I do? You were high that day. She didn't ask you to marry her. She said she'd give you the... After the club's over, we divide the money. That means you and your co-promoters, and I pay you from my share. You didn't say that's the only way he gets paid.
No, we like
You're
verbally
just telling
talked about
him
it
the
prior to.
process. This is telling him the process, ma'am. Go ahead.
If you basically read at the bottom, this is way after. If you see the date, it's April 21st, which is after the event. What does she say at
Let's
the
see it,
bottom?
please. I, Simone Trent, promise to pay Puma the amount of $500. Any additional concerns you may add. What do you say to that?
I did, because after the...
You did?
Yeah.
All right. Have a good day. $1,000 for the plaintiff, including your emotional distress.
Thank you, sir.
Judgment for the plaintiff. Your claim dismissed.
Simone is my homie. Like, I really have no problems with her. Just something that went left. And just business is business. You know? Yeah. We're cool, though. See? We're cool as hell. Yeah, it's all good.
Plaintiff Kiara Reeves says the defendant is her cousin, and she does not like the defendant's boyfriend. Kiara claims the defendant's boyfriend partied their rent money away, and as a result, they were evicted, and the defendant had to move in with Kiara. Kiara is suing her cousin for loans, rent, and stolen property. Defendant Mariana Brown says she has no idea why Kiara doesn't like her boyfriend, and the reason she moved out is because Kiara lied about catching Mariana and her boyfriend having sex in her home. She's countersuing for breach of contract.
Start with you.
Well, me and Mariana are cousins, more like sisters. We grew up together, and we used to do everything together up until about 2 years ago. She started dating this guy. He's a nobody who swears he's somebody. Very, very irresponsible, partying, having parties, throwing parties like he's Jay-Z or Kanye West.
He's a promoter?
Like that. No, he's not a promoter. He just goes out and has parties, and he
Does he
pays
make
for
money
everything.
off of them?
No.
Oh.
He's just throwing the parties just for fun.
Okay.
And he even got my cousin evicted.
What does he do for a living?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably nothing.
Well, he has to do something if he's out of the club balling.
Well, he's balling with money that's supposed to be going on bills like her money.
Okay.
Not his. He doesn't do anything. He got her evicted. She came to stay with me. And up until one day I caught her and him having sex in my room. And at that point, I told her she had to go. I gave her 30 days to leave. She left in the middle of the 30 days with some of my belongings.
All right. Let me allow her to give some background now.
Kiara is my cousin. We were very close before this. We used to go on family vacations and stuff. Kiara loves to sing, so we would get together and cook, and Kiara would be my personal radio. She dislikes my boyfriend for some reason. I have no clue at all.
Does he work?
But yes, he
Okay.
does construction.
All right. Did you get evicted?
Yes.
Why'd you get evicted then? If he works construction, that's a high-paying job. She says because he popping off the money at the clubs, balling out.
I mean, he was a character, but that has.
What happened to the money? That does have something to do with you being evicted, having to move over there with her. What happened to the money?
He thought it was extra money in the account, so he spent it.
And it wasn't extra money, it was rent money.
Exactly.
Was he going out to the clubs regularly?
Yes.
And then when it came time to pay rent and you all were getting evicted, he said, well, I thought this was extra money. Go ahead. What else you want me to know?
Well, she came up with this story that she caught us having sex in her house, which was not true. So one day while she was at work, I just moved out because I didn't want to deal with all her craziness. So.
How long did you live there?
6 months.
Were you to pay rent?
No.
Why? That's why you got put out the last one, because you wasn't paying
Well,
rent. You
made
put her out?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, because you wouldn't pay there either. Why won't you pay your rent?
Well, we made an agreement that I was to babysit her kids for her daughter for her, and that would be my rent.
Okay, how many hours a week?
I babysitted, well, didn't calculate it, but I babysitted them from 5 days a week, 10 hours a day. She worked 9 hours, but it takes her time to get home, and I still had to keep them from the time she left to go to work and the time she made it home.
So let's get to the loans and the rent and the stolen property, and then we'll discuss that rent, which sounds reasonable if she's telling the truth.
No, she is not.
All right, you tell me.
Okay, well, March of 2014, that's when I gave her the first loan of $2,000 for her to pay the bills, and that's the money that he took. And
pay the bills at the place they were evicted from.
Yeah, because I gave her the $2,000 so that she wouldn't get evicted. And he used that money for a weekend of partying.
Ma'am, what happened to the $2,000?
That's the money he said he thought was the extra money in the account.
What about the other money that he earned that you all would typically pay the rent with?
We were behind on bills because I wasn't working at the time, so that's why we were on the verge of getting evicted and stuff. I just got a job.
You had lost the job?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead.
So she called me in April, the next month of 2014, and let me know what happened. At that time, she told me that she broke up with the boyfriend, and she needed somewhere to stay. So I did agree to let her move in with me. I gave her another $500 loan to move her stuff to a storage unit and to bring some of the stuff to my house for her to stay with me temporarily. At the time, I told her that it was in my lease. I had to pay $75 per person if someone came to live with me. Her and her son came, so she agreed to pay $150 a month in rent. She stayed with me for 6 months, and she never paid any of it. I never agreed to let her use the rent from her watching my daughter because she didn't watch her 5 days a week. It was more like 2 to 3 days.
How old was your daughter?
She was 2 at the time.
Who watched the daughter then?
Mariana did. She did watch my daughter sometimes.
Who watched her the other days?
My dad.
He lived there?
No, I took her to my dad's house.
Okay. You know of anything about her dad?
No, she did not
Is
take
he
it.
retired or something?
No, he's not retired. He just wasn't working at the time. She was keeping her 2 to 3 days a week. The other time, my dad was.
All right. How many hours a day?
She was keeping her about 8 to 10 hours.
A day. Mm-hmm. And rent.
That's
a good deal you got going. Get babysitting and rent.
Yeah, the babysitting was just a favor because of everything that I was doing for her. We never agreed.
What were you doing for her? Because she agreed to repay you this $2,500, so you weren't doing that for her. What were you doing for her exactly?
I mean, I allowed her to live with me. I was paying.
Yeah, for $150 a month. So what were you doing for her?
I mean, I was buying the food, the tissue,
toilet tissue. Okay,
everything.
That's what you did. So your 30 hours of babysitting, you already been compensated. Toilet paper. Did you get your toilet paper? Tell you what you got.
That was my point. I don't know how would she expect me to pay
Did you
rent?
get your tissue?
Yeah.
Well, that was your payment. What's stolen property, ma'am?
Well, when she left, there was a couple of things missing, but the 3 most valuable things were 2 Michael Kors purses and a Michael Kors watch.
Okay, how do you attribute it to her?
Well, when she left, she took it.
All
and
right.
I called her. I let her know that the stuff was missing. She did acknowledge that it was missing. She told me that her boyfriend must have took it because he thought it was theirs. They left.
Ma'am?
No, that is false.
You never discussed those items with her?
No.
Never. This is the first you're hearing of it?
No, she's been texting me about it.
So then you have discussed it with her?
No, I haven't discussed it with her. I told her when she...
You just told me she's been texting you about it. And
yes,
you just
but-
said, I told her. That means you have discussed it with her.
Okay, well, I've discussed it with her, but I did not take it. I told her that I did not take it, and I don't know what she's talking about.
Did you mention your boyfriend?
No, me and him were not seeing each other
Did
at
you
all.
mention that your boyfriend may have taken it?
No.
All right. The way you evaded that question, I believe her on the stolen property. The stolen property is how much?
$700.
$700. And ma'am, I'm not going to grant you any rent. I believe the rent was in exchange for her keeping the child for 30 hours a week, and that's what you want the $900 for, the babysitting. But instead, you're going to have that deducted from the amount she's suing you for. So $2,500 and $700 is what, Doyle?
$3,200.
$3,200, and that's your judgment, and yours is dismissed. Good luck, ladies. Have a good day.
I still want to be your best friend. I just think you need to get it together. Leave him alone. Like, it's not.
Kiara, I did leave him alone, and you know that. You over-exaggerated this.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Okay, all right.
Really, tissue, though?
It wasn't just
so
the
you
tissue.
didn't tell. So I only watched Jada 3 days a week.
Yes, you did not watch her 4 to 5 days a week.
Kiara, I even watched her when you wanted to go out and all type of stuff.
Because you said you weren't doing anything.
But how did you expect me to get a job and pay you rent if I'm at home babysitting Jada?